When you get ready for Dayton tomorrow night, how much of your preparation comes from your first meeting, and how much comes from their last 2 or 3 games where they've been all over the place?
A lot of both, really. Just being familiar with them, playing against them, and how we do things against them, and what they do specifically against us. We got to be ready for that. But also, you always go back 4 or 5 games, their latest games, to see what some of their twists, what they've added, what they're going to in key situations, the matchups, the lineups. So, a lot of both, I would say. But the biggest thing I think is making sure we're ready to play against a really good team, and they're always great battles. We got to be ready.
They have changed their lineup, obviously. They got 2 guys back that weren't there the last time. How much has that changed them, and how much are they different from what you saw last time?
No, they're much different. Those 2 guys are very good players. They can make plays for them on the perimeter, but they're very good defensive players as well. They hawk the ball. They could really impact the game in so many different ways. So both of them are very talented players and really good guards. Smith can really get guys shots, but he can make big plays for them. Elvis is a guy that he could really shoot it, really score, really attacks the matchups. So definitely have our hands full of both of those guys and the rest of their team for sure. But they are different than the last game. So we're preparing for those 2 guys for sure.
In what ways are they different with them in the lineup?
They got 2 really good guards that can score and put the ball on the floor. They could run more plays for them than some of the other guys. The other guys don't have to handle as much, so they can get back to being really good spot-up shooters and playing the positions that they played earlier in the year. Those 2 guys, offensively are dynamic at times where they could really attack you. So there's going to be harder to guard with those 2 guys out there.
How often, when you're watching film of, let's say, the last 2 or 3 weeks of this conference, how often do you scratch your head and go, how in the hell did that happen? Because we look at the scores, and this league is all over the place this year. It's got to be murder to get ready for some of these teams.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, number one is, you could say whatever you want to say, but the bottom of the league has gotten better from new coaches, new players, transfer portal, whatever. That influx has made the league better, harder to navigate for sure. But that's what you want. That's what you want. You want the league. You don't want them to eat. We don't want to eat each other. But that's what happens when you're in a good league with good coaches, and there's a lot of good players in this league. I also think, no matter what, going on the road in the A-10, there's some tough places to play, no matter who the team is, and you've seen some of those results because you're going on the road. It's hard to win in the A-10 on the road, and I think that's a difference maker as well.
Do you, though, use some of those examples to your kids as this is why consistency is so important? Because as long as your game travels, you don't necessarily need to worry about your opponent.
That's one way you could separate yourself, find a way to go on the road and win, without a doubt. I think that's huge. If you look at the standings, some teams have done that really helped them, and you try to hold serve at home, but it's easier said than done. With the schedule we have, where everybody in the league. So, but that's also the fun of it, and that's the fun of the competitive environments of the A-10. I think the biggest thing, you got to get ready for the next game no matter what. If you win it, great. Use that momentum to get ready for the next one. If you lose it, don't let that loss beat you twice. You got to sort of be ready to move on no matter what happens, and get ready for the next one, or it could bite you.
Where are you guys more consistent now than you were, let's say, 10 days ago or 10 games ago before conference play started? Maybe not to your liking just yet, but you can see improvement.
Our offense has improved. Just sheer numbers have improved without a doubt. We've been more efficient. Hopefully, we continue not turning the ball over. We've done a good job of limiting turnovers, and that has helped. I just think we're more comfortable than 10 games ago of our new guys and our guys that have played bigger roles than from the past, I think those guys have really stepped up, and we look more comfortable out there executing the way we want to play.
St. Bonaventure aside, you guys have come through in some pretty tight situations late. Does that show you a maturity on this team that maybe wasn't there?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it always helps have an ace out there as your point guard, and the ball's in his hands, and he's making decisions late in games. But I think other guys have really stepped up. We talk about the 6-minute game of being real solid on defense and getting team stops, not putting other team on the line. Offensively, taking care of the ball and executing down the stretch, getting to the line, and then. I think we've done a good job of that, and then I think really close games, some really tight ones. We've gotten good opportunities on the offensive end, good shots, the right guys taking the right shots. It's great execution down the stretch. So got to continue that. We've matured in that way, and that just comes with experience for sure.
You can't control the schedule, but you kind of get a week off after this game, your bye week. Would you rather? Play Saturday, or how do you fill in the gap where?
No, I think it's a great time to have a bye week and get some rest. The schedule we've had since early January has been crazy. I mean, other teams in the league have been dealing with that. The Tuesday, Friday throws you off for your planning and consistency, but it is what it is. And I think this time getting a day or two off and getting bodies right and minds right, I think is really important.
You mentioned cutting down on the turnovers the last few games. I think you had 12, 6, and 10 or something like that. What have you seen that's different? What is the difference between now and earlier in the year when you were up in the upper teens and sometimes the 20s?
I just think playing more under control, playing off of 2 feet, really emphasizing not fighting the defense, meaning putting your head down and trying to big boy people or muscle through the defense. Sometimes you just get a second guy or third guy or a collapsing defense on you. You sit down and let the other guy have a chance. I think that's registered more in the last month than all year long, and it comes with experience. And I think the game slowed down for some of our younger guys, and the execution of plays or the emphasis for a game has really improved. And I just think experience-wise, lots of reps, guys taking pride in emphasizing what we need to do in offensive possessions. So I just think better decision-making and being stronger with the ball.
You mentioned last week about 3-point shooting. It looks like guys have made some adjustments on you all, particularly on Shriver. They're really attached to him and not letting him go anywhere. How do you get him open? How do you get through the 3-point?
Yeah, I mean, still take good shots. It's not how many threes you take, it's taking the right ones for us. And some games we've taken more than our average, but if they're good shots, I'm okay with that. But if we're not getting the right threes, don't force them. Go get a paint touch and keep sharing the ball. I think that's important. With Shriver, the way he shot it in January, coming into February, teams now are just sort of, we nose to nose and not letting him, not helping off of him. What that does help, though, it creates opportunities for other guys and gives more space to the guy with the ball. And we've had some good success because of that. Now for Shrive, he's got to find ways in transition to find windows to get shots and on defensive breakdowns and teams rotating and collapsing, find windows to get shots. And we got to screen him off the ball and get him some opportunities. But just keep playing. That's good shooters find shots. You might not get as many game to game as you'd like, but you just keep playing. The ball finds good players, good shooters.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, all right.
Thanks.